Here with us today is Sadio Ali Adan. Sadio is the co-founder and the president of the Somali Diaspora Network. Miss Adan is also a writer and peace activist from Virginia.
Assalamu alaikum. First of all, that's really very important group. The youth, the Somali youth, I think it's absolutely essential that we address the youth as they are the important part of our community, the society. I think the youth is the future, and if they are able to galvanize like-minded youth and try to address the crisis in Somalia, be it the humanitarian crisis or the invasion of the Ethiopian troops or the displaced under the humanitarian crisis and the starvation extra rendition programs, I think they will be able to do a better job than their elders. And so therefore what I would say to them is, now that you're here, you're free and you have the freedom to navigate and speak against the wrong that's being done, comes with responsibility, that freedom. And that responsibility is to give it back to those that you left behind or your parents left behind by remembering them, speaking on their behalf because they are voiceless. Therefore, we should become their voice, especially you as the young Somali kids here, the Somali young youth in the diaspora. Therefore, I would say, and I hate to say sometimes this because I think the elders take it to heart and they think maybe we're offending them, but do not just listen to what your parents tell you when it comes to the clan system, because your parents have this idea of believing that the clan system is the only thing that exists. The Somali crisis has nothing to do with clan. It has a lot to do with greed and power. Therefore, do your own research, do your own investigations, do your own analysis. Therefore, come up with your own solutions. Be part of the solution and not part of the problem. It should bother you that Somali woman is being raped. If you think a woman who's being raped should be condoned, is wrong. I think the rape of any woman should bother any human being. So as Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And I think that should be what we always keep in mind.
Yes, this is Abukar Arman, is a local activist and freelance writer whose work has been published by publications such as International Herald Tribune and Algiers Magazine.
What happened in the past 17 years is a sad episode of utter violence that we caused upon ourselves. In other words, we were responsible for shooting ourselves in the foot. Somalis were killing Somalis, basically. Factors are many. I mean, there isn't a single thing that caused it. If you bring 20 people to describe what had happened in the last 17 years, they will give you different answers. And all of which, in my opinion, are true. Because there are different stages of destruction. And each one had its own problems, and it had gradually built to where we are today. We are currently under occupation. For the first time in African history, a country, of course, an African nation invaded another African nation, and it's still occupying it, and in the process causing the worst humanitarian disaster in Africa today. So it was the stages, as I said, and over the years, those stages have taken many different manifestations. Some were clan-based, some were international or external factors, and combine that, it boils down to Somalis killing Somalis and external factors fueling more to make matters worse. Sadly, in every circles, whether it is in the diaspora, whether it is in Somalia, honest discussions between these two groups of differences, honest discussion without keeping an eye on the ultimate prize, which is what I would leave with at the end of the discussion. If the focus is always what I leave with the most numbers of horses in a process of horse trading, then you lose the the concept of dialogue and negotiation and objectivity and all of that, because your focus will be what I or my clan would leave in the end. Unfortunately, the so-called reconciliation processes that brought together people of different opinion, whether it is on clan-based, and most of them was, if not all, did not achieve that level of objectivity, because in every case the focus was what would my clan leave with, or I as a person, as an individual, what would I leave with. What's needed, I think, more than anything else, and in the diaspora there is a great deal of opportunity of that, for people on both sides to come together and have an intelligent discussion on what is going on, what is our problem, and come together with a common definition that covers all of these things. Because as I said earlier, when you bring 20 Somalis to define the problem, they will give you 25 different answers. Yes, so all of them, if not most of them, if not all of them, are valid points. It depends on what area or what time is the person or the individual in focus, or the individual is focusing on. So if we have an opportunity where people can sit and discuss these things in a very intelligent way, they can come up with some common understanding that's a win-win situation for everyone. Because the ultimate goal is not to destroy what we have. Right now we have, and I'm very critical of the process that led to the birth of TFG itself, because again it was 4.5, which is a clan-based, which is really a nonsense, and it does not bring solution to the Somali problem in the long run. But what it gave us is institution, and a transitional federal institutions that we can build on, that we can improve, okay, while being critical of what the TFG is doing by bringing the Ethiopian occupation and so forth, and telling the world about the brutality of the Ethiopian occupation under Meles Zenawi's leadership. Still, we should not lose sight, because we do not want to also destroy what we got and start from square one. So there has to be some level of objectivity in terms of how to improve what we have. And you will not get to that level of objectivity until you have people who are in the right frame of mind to sit down and discuss this matter in an open and honest way. Today, for example, we had some people from the other side. We found out that afterwards. I wish we did before, because I would look forward to that opportunity to engage them in a positive way, of course, not in a negative way. But unfortunately, they opted to wait until the end of the program and then distribute some papers, which is a very different way of approaching, I should say. But I look forward in the future an opportunity to have a direct discourse, even with those who disagree with us. Inshallah. Because we do not always want to focus on the ones that we agree. If you and I are in agreement on things, you know, someone once said that if everybody in the room is in agreement, then, and 10 people are in that room, there are 9 people who are not needed. Because apparently they're agreeing with one person's opinion, right? Exactly. But people, if you bring them together and they're thinking in the right frame of mind, they always have difference of opinions. And you can always negotiate and bring those ideas and mediate to the point that it comes to a win-win situation. And that's our ultimate goal. And may Allah help us in that process, inshallah.